Hello, everyone. This is Natalie Armstrong-Moton with Marketing Resolution. Thanks very much for joining me today. Today, I have for you a special guest, Diane Tucker, who was previously on the board of the ADRBC, and she has a fantastically unique practice. And Diane is going to tell us all about it. Hello, Diane.
Hello, Natalie.
Thanks very much for spending some time with me. I want to invite you to tell everyone about your practice. It is such an important specialty in this day and age, and I know that people are going to be really interested in hearing what it is you do.
Well, I'm a commercial arbitrator, so I've done arbitrations in the past that have to do with the merchantability of product and for the value of professional services, and I continue to do work like that at the moment. But I'm looking to expand my practice into the privacy area. I have credentials in privacy from the International Association of Privacy Professionals in New Hampshire for both Canada private sector and US private sector. And so I'm looking forward to the day when people are going to have claims against the collectors of their personal information who have misused that personal information somehow and caused damage to the individual. We're looking for the laws right now, and right now we don't have them, but I'm sure they're coming, and I'm going to be ready when they get started.
You know, it's such a hot topic, and you know, I'm sitting in France, and so we have different privacy laws here, and it is creating some challenges for us to communicate across the pond with our North American neighbors and to our Asian neighbors and with our African neighbors. Yes. So we are having those challenges, but these are really important. And until the laws come around, it seems like mediation and arbitration are the exact right way to handle these kinds of damage claims.
I don't see why it would be approached through an attempt to resolve in that way. There are people who have suffered tremendous damage, identity theft and other damages as a result of the misuse of their personal information, which has been collected by some big organization that doesn't care very much and has a lot of money, so let's go. Though I think until those organizations have to start paying off to individuals, that's the only time when they're going to really take this quite seriously. Because right now they're being fined by governments, and so they get to pay these what may be look like large amounts of money, but they're really not to these organizations. But when they start having to pay individuals for what they've done, I'm hopeful that they'll be more attentive. And I know that you in France, of course, are subject to the GDPR, which I think is going to set the standard for everybody, because everybody's going to have to meet that standard in order to continue to do business. So I'm glad that the ED that the EU has actually put it, set the bar so high, but everybody's going to have to meet it. It's going to take some time, I think.
It is, and I was not unaware that it was coming, but I have to say at the moment it's really inconvenient because it's little things like, excuse me, like I have a recipe site that I like to go to for cooking, because I have to substitute things from my traditional North American dishes into French grocery store availability. Well, all of a sudden, this site was simply closed to me because they didn't meet the GDPR standard.
Right.
So it's little things. It means that I can't read the newspaper from my hometown because the laws haven't caught up yet. Right. But I know that there are people that, so for me it's just an inconvenience, but you're talking about taking cases where people have actually been damaged or injured because of privacy. So that's going to be maybe inappropriate images that have gone out to the world, and once they're out, it's really hard to get them back. Maybe it's a tweet, or maybe it's bullying or harassment of some sort. It could be identity theft. I can imagine a whole host of kinds of cases that you would hear.
Well, just the here, right? I mean, it's one of the cases that's come up in the EU about the right not to be, the right to be forgotten. that what you put on social media, you need to be able to take back and delete, that it doesn't stay out there forever. So there are many kinds of cases that are going to come up in many different ways, and people are injured in lots of different ways on a regular basis. But at the moment, they just don't have the right to sue for these injuries.
And
I'm sorry.
so is it just that the laws don't yet protect the new technology? Technology has just moved so much faster than our legal systems can keep up. Is that the primary issue?
That's one of the, first off, of course, life is always faster than the law. Law is always catching up. And the second part, I think, is that today's legislators, for the most part, don't really have an understanding of privacy and the electronic age. So, for example, I'm thinking of one of the legislators from US who said that the internet is a series of tubes. I think that's kind of the level that we have, at least here in the US, about that. And as a result, of course, the laws can never apply because people don't understand how this all works.
Right.
So it might take another generation. Maybe the next group of legislators that come in will be young enough to understand these things. But at the moment, I think we have a real disconnect between the legislators and the realities.
Well, it makes me feel better that there is someone like you that can handle a case that comes up. Since we don't have law, we don't yet have a precedent for handling these kinds of things. It might move a little bit more quickly now after the Russian alleged hacking into the DNC records. So that might move things a little more quickly for Americans. But for the rest of us, I think you're right. I think it is just going to take some time. But I admit, it does make me feel better to know that if I, wanted to file a claim against someone, at least I have you, to spearhead the conversation.
I think I'm the only person who has the difference between arbitration and privacy, but there may be others. But I'm waiting for all this to break, because I'm sure as soon as there is a leak in the wall that it will part, that the sea will suddenly rush in, because there are a lot of people who've been injured by this and don't really know how to address it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Well, I want to be sure that, because this is such a different and unique and interesting practice specialty, I want to be sure that people have the ability to connect with you. So if you don't mind, would you, because I don't want to violate your privacy, but would you share your website address with everyone? And I will be sure to put it in the description bar down below, so that if people do have questions or concerns, they can find you and ask those questions.
Yeah, my website is www.detetal.com. And that actually website is also close to my email address. DET are my initials, and then @al allows me to bring in other people when I need to in order to do a project or whatever. So www.detetal.com.
Excellent. And like I said, I'll put that link down below in the description bar. And so this is important information. I'm really glad that you could join me today and let everybody know that you've got this practice that can help them get through what I'm sure must be really confusing and difficult things to get through.
Well, so many people are confusing, of course, confidentiality and privacy, and there are quite different things. And so one of the things I have also been doing is offering a seminar, a workshop on privacy, confidentiality, and conflict of interest, security, and privilege, because they're all related, but a lot of professionals are really unable to determine the difference among them and what constitutes what. And so what we do is we go over the definitions, and then we run a bunch of scenarios. So in this scenario, what's the problem? Is there a problem? And then what of these 5 things is the problem? And then how would one go about fixing it, or not putting oneself into that situation to begin with?
Yeah, I like that one a lot. So for your workshop, it's for individuals, it's for companies. Who's your primary target market for these workshops?
I've done groups. So for example, I've done it for alternative dispute resolvers, also for nonprofits, for boards of director members for nonprofits, and also for accountants and lawyers. And so what I do is I reposition the scenario so it fits this particular group. But there are lots of stories. You really only need to read the newspaper to find these stories and then concoct them in a way that works for my workshop. So the things that people do are so amazing.
It's yeah, I'm frequently surprised that I'm still shocked by what people can do.
Yes, yes. I used to tell people that people screw each other is a given, but how they do it is astonishing. And that's the thing that will keep you surprised throughout your practice.
I like that very much, Diane. I like that a lot. Well, like I said, I really appreciate your time. I am thankful that I can put your resource up on the YouTube channel and give people a place to go when they have questions about those differences between privacy and confidentiality. So I just thank you. I really appreciate the professional aspects of what you're doing.
Great. Thank you so much. Wonderful to speak with you.
You're sure welcome. Listen, everybody, if you like this YouTube channel, please remember to subscribe, like, and share. And as always, be good humans. Thanks very much, Diane.
Thanks, Natalie.
Bye-bye.